My name's Glenn Hodgins. I'm the president and CEO of the Canadian Music Centre. Well, I think as a leader, it's a fundamental key tool to have your team working toward delivering on strategic goals, strategic priorities. As the first stage, I ask employees through a self-assessment to look at the strategic plan, and as they're doing their self-evaluation, figure out where they fit, what fits for them in the strategic plan. And I find that making it a two-way dialogue is an essential aspect of it, that you need to be able to listen for feedback and be prepared as a leader to hear what maybe you're not doing as well. And if the employee feels empowered and engaged through the process, then it has a greater probability of succeeding. My organization, we have kind of small to mid-size. We're in the lower end of a mid-size budget, and I would say 50%, pretty close to 50% of our budget is people, and as a result, you run the problem, or you have the problem of having too many direct reports and not being able to provide the time to do adequate performance management. So it's a hard job. It's a very challenging piece of the leadership puzzle that we have to deal with on an everyday basis. If you don't provide kind of continuous feedback, you let things build up, then there's a risk that you have more of a confrontational kind of a meeting that isn't so productive. I think the combination of continuous feedback, address concerns as they happen, and reward for good performance on a regular basis, as opposed to leaving it for that once annual kind of meeting, you need the balance, you need a combination, in my opinion. I can point to the CHRC performance management tool as actually a very good guide in terms of keeping positive, keeping constructive, focusing on strengths and building on those strengths. If you're fortunate enough to have other senior staff who are kind of in a middle management area, empowering them to use the same tool that you have to work with employees, I definitely would delegate that, but participate myself at some stage. I also think it's important and necessary as the leader to impose this on yourself and make sure that your board has the tools and use the same tools to do the evaluation of your performance. It's a lot easier to tell your employees that they have to go through this process, which involves time for them too, if they know you're doing it as well. So I have three stages that we use. One is setting the stage, where opportunity to review job description, where the employee sees themselves and so on. Then the evaluation, which is reflective of the previous year or whatever period, and then the goal setting and professional development. And in that component, I think it's very important, and it's really during that formal meeting, the time to sit with an employee and say, what are your future goals? How can I help you get there? How can, within this company, can you fulfill some of those goals? And this is a very positive way to reinforce the employee's role in the company and how the company can help you develop your own leadership aspirations.